Good morning, brothers and sisters, and happy Sunday to you. I hope you had a pleasant weekend. The theme we are going to develop this morning is entitled When God Prepares Us. When God Prepares Us. God is the creator of all things, the first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega. And His love is active in favor of His children that we are. God has a plan, a project for each of us, and nothing can be improvised with it. His wisdom and foreknowledge of all things has planned everything for His own glory. And when the Almighty wants to expose us or puts us in the spotlight, He always prepares us, He trains us, He improves us, He adjusts us, and He exposes us so that we are armed and equipped, so that we avoid falling into the same traps, so that we avoid making the same mistakes of the past, the same inattentions, when we are prepared in His plan. The climax of His blessings in our life. God always make everything for us to reach the highest potential that we can reach. God's ways of preparation help us to reap and bountiful harvest through the experience of the wickedness of men, through difficult situations, tribulations, perpetual rejections, sleepless night, days without light, when we tell ourselves that happiness is surely behind us. But also, God's modes of preparation help us to be good managers of our emotions. God sees and knows everything before us. He knows our strengths and our weaknesses. And when He has predestined us to greatness, He needs to hide from us for a while. He needs to prepare us, to modulate us. God needs to break our character. Hence, the bringing of trials in our life. Trials are parts of life, and when God is with us, the trials have a goal. They are not there by chance. On the contrary, they help us to grow spiritually, to strengthen our faith. The trials are the ultimate means used by God to transform us, to allow us to reach our full potential. Moreover, 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17 declares, in fact, our present distresses are fleeting in light. They are fleeting in light, prepared to the unsurpassable weight of glory, which they prepare for us. God uses circumstances to prepare us in this way. When the trials are violent and hard for too long, let us never capitulate, because behind the scenes, God is preparing us for His glory. God never wastes anything, and the time spent training us is never wasted time. When God has our destiny in His hand, even our suffering has a meaningful purpose. When God has our destiny in His hands, everything becomes a testimony for His glory. These tears that we shed all day long, as we cross our deserts, soon God will wipe them away. We must stand firm for this. For this is that. This is what the Epistle of James calls the test of faith. When God prepares us, it will not be easy, because no real learning, no real preparation is done with gentleness or tenderness. We must stand in faith. We must mature in faith. Failures, disappointment, and humiliations allow us to learn, to grow, and to retain the important lessons of life. Because to become a great man, to become a great woman, you must always go through the school of God. This school does not favor any foe. It does not favor anyone. It is a difficult school where life will teach us. It is difficult because in that school, little by little, we develop endurance and wisdom. It is a school where we learn to know God, where we learn to trust Him. It is a school where we learn to master the omnipotence of God, where we learn to grow spiritually, to develop the fruits of the Spirit, such as love of neighbor, patience, temperance, when a future situation arises before us. God always prepares His children that we are to bring about better options in our life. These options will perhaps aim to prevent us from being the laughing stock of our neighbors, the laughing stock of our colleagues, our in-laws. God has surely observed that our naivety tends to lead us to confide in everyone, to reveal unconsciously the secrets of our home to the first comer without discernment. Perhaps God has predestined us to a brilliant future. However, we lack maturity. It is therefore impossible for us to manage the character of each other in this company, in this family, in this government, to manage them properly. Maybe we trust everyone, except that trust does not exclude to have a look, to be careful. And placing this project in the hands of third person without control risk being final, a risk to be final. Hence the importance of the preparation that God wants to give us through the acquisition of discernment. God wants to grant us the wisdom necessary to mature. He wants to give us the wisdom necessary to mature. God's preparation always connects us to His plan, to His will. The Almighty would like us to be the emanation of His glory. Wherever we find ourselves, He would like us to be models, torchbearers of our families. The trials that stand before us are only getaways, and not the end. The tests of faith are just the clue that clearly shows us that God is preparing us for something greater, something better. We must never abandon faith or deviate from His ways because of the trials that arise before us during this period of transition. On the contrary, we must hand over everything to God and place our pains and burdens in His expert hands. We must be patient and trust in God, especially when sadness fills our hearts, when tears flow from our eyes. Let us always remember that God is with us, that He never abandoned us. The Lord is ready for those who are broken-hearted, and He saves those who are weak in spirit. He never changes. He's the same today, tomorrow, and forever. Let us remember that learning about God is done like a newborn, who must learn to grow without ever skipping any step. You unload all the worries on Him because He takes care of you. 1 Peter 5, verse 7. God always takes care of his children. That we are when people hurt us, when people humiliate us, when people just wrong or deaf, God lifts us up. When people reject us, when people judge us, God justifies us. Let us trust him blindly to be calm. Let us blindly trust God. Let us be calm and patient. We are the children of God, and we must never doubt God's plan in our lives, projects of peace and not of misfortune, so that we can have a future and hope. Happy Sunday, and we'll start the week. This is the team we had to develop this morning. Thanks.